Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the major differences between two neighboring countries in South Asia, India and Bangladesh. Now, some of you might be thinking, Aja, why compare these two? It's like comparing a Bengal tiger to a slightly smaller Bengal tiger, and you wouldn't be entirely wrong. Both countries share a history, a border, and a love for biryani that's borderline spiritual. But trust me, beneath the surface of shared curries and cricket rivalries lies some fascinating distinctions. We're talking economics, military might, even who rocks the better dance moves. Spoiler alert, it's debatable. So, buckle up as we unpack these differences, because understanding them is key to understanding the unique relationship between these two South Asian giants. Let's get started. All right, let's talk money, or as the economists like to call it, gross domestic product. Now, there's no competition here. India's economy dwarfs Bangladesh's. It's like comparing Bollywood to, Dollywood. India's a member of the G20, rubbing shoulders with the big boys, while Bangladesh is still finding its footing on the global stage. But hold on, before you jump to conclusions, remember this. Size isn't everything. Bangladesh's economy has been quietly killing it, with consistent growth rates outpacing India's in recent years. They're like the scrappy startup that's quietly becoming the next tech unicorn. See, Bangladesh has focused on what it does best, textiles. They're the second largest garment exporter globally, supplying those made in Bangladesh t-shirts you're probably wearing right now. India, on the other hand, has a more diversified economy, but it also grapples with poverty and inequality. It's a classic case of first world problems, I guess. So while India might be the bigger economic powerhouse, Bangladesh is giving them a run for their money, proving that sometimes it's not about the size of your wallet, but how you use it. Let's be real, when it comes to military spending, India makes Bangladesh look like it's playing laser tag. We're talking nuclear weapons, aircraft carriers, the whole shebang. India's got beef with both Pakistan and China, so they've got to stay battle ready. Bangladesh, on the other hand, is more like, look, we just got our independence in 1971, can't we all just get along? But don't let that fool you. Bangladesh might not have India's firepower, but they've got something just as important, a lean, mean peacekeeping machine. They're one of the largest contributors to UN peacekeeping missions, bringing the Bangladeshi brand of chill to global hotspots. It's like the UN version of bringing a plate of biryani to a shouting match. Plus, let's not forget, Bangladesh has got that home ground advantage. They know every nook and cranny of that delta region, making any invasion a logistical nightmare. So, while India's busy flexing its military muscle, Bangladesh is quietly winning hearts and minds, proving that sometimes diplomacy is mightier than the sword or the nuclear warhead. Now let's talk global influence. India's been making power moves on the world stage, joining groups like BRICS and the G20, hobnobbing with world leaders like their old pals. They're like the popular kid in school everyone wants to sit with at lunch. Bangladesh, meanwhile, has been playing a different game, focusing on regional alliances and economic partnerships. They're tight with China, who's been investing heavily in infrastructure projects, much to India's slight annoyance. It's like that awkward moment when your best friend starts hanging out with your ex. But hey, Bangladesh is all about that friend zone diplomacy. They've got good relations with both India and Pakistan. Despite the historical baggage, they're like the Switzerland of South Asia, neutral ground for everyone. Plus, let's not forget the power of the Bangladeshi diaspora, sending remittances back home and boosting the economy. So, while India's busy building its global brand, Bangladesh is quietly building bridges, proving that sometimes it's not about being the loudest voice in the room, but the one people trust the most. Chapter 4, People Power, 1.4 billion versus 165 million and counting. Let's talk numbers, people. India's population is massive, like mind-bogglingly huge. We're talking over 1.4 billion people. It's like trying to find a parking spot in Mumbai during rush hour. Good luck with that. Bangladesh, on the other hand, is a bit cozier, with around 165 million people. Now, you might think that smaller is simpler, but remember, we're talking about packing all those people into a country the size of Iowa. That's a lot of people sharing one very crowded elevator. This means Bangladesh has a higher population density than India, which leads to its own set of challenges, like traffic jams that would make a New Yorker weep. But hey, there's a certain vibrancy that comes with all those people. A sense of community and shared experience that's hard to find elsewhere. Plus, all those young people represent a massive potential workforce, just waiting for the right opportunities. So, while India might have the numbers, Bangladesh has got the hustle, proving that sometimes it's not about the size of the crowd, but the energy they bring. Chapter 5. Brains and Bytes, the tech race is on. All right, let's talk tech, because in the 21st century, that's where it's at. India's got a head start with its booming IT sector and Silicon Valley connections. We're talking Infosys, Wipro, Tata Consultancy Services. These guys are global players. India's churning out engineers and software developers faster than you can say Bangalore traffic. But hold on, Bangladesh is hot on their heels. They've been investing heavily in education and technology, creating a new generation of tech-savvy youngsters. They might not have the brand recognition of their Indian counterparts, but they're hungry, they're talented, and they're ready to code their way to the top. Plus, Bangladesh has something India doesn't, a government that's gone all in on digitalization. They've rolled out e-governance initiatives, mobile banking, even digital birth certificates. It's like they skipped a few chapters in the development textbook and went straight to the future. So while India might have the experience, Bangladesh has the momentum, proving that in the tech world, it's not about where you come from, but where you're going. Let's be real. Infrastructure isn't exactly the sexiest topic, but trust me, it matters. And when it comes to roads, bridges, and power grids, India's got a lot of catching up to do. Don't get me wrong, they've made progress, but they're still grappling with crumbling infrastructure and power outages that would make a millennial lose their mind. Bangladesh, on the other hand, has been quietly building and building smart. They've invested heavily in infrastructure projects, from mega bridges to deep-sea ports. They're even making strides in renewable energy, with solar panels popping up like mushrooms after the rain. It's like they looked at India's infrastructure woes and said, "Hold my chai, we got this." Now, some might say Bangladesh had the advantage of starting fresh after independence, and they wouldn't be entirely wrong. But hey, you got to give credit where credit's due. They've turned a weakness into a strength, proving that sometimes the best way to move forward is to build a solid foundation. Now let's talk about the fun stuff, culture. India's a melting pot of languages, religions, and traditions. It's like a Bollywood movie, colorful, chaotic, and utterly captivating. Bangladesh, on the other hand, is a bit more homogeneous, with Bengali language and culture taking center stage. But don't let that fool you. There's still plenty of diversity within that unity. From the bustling streets of Dhaka to the serene tea gardens of Sylhet, Bangladesh offers a unique blend of tradition and modernity. And let's not forget the food. Both countries boast culinary traditions that will tantalize your taste buds. But while India is known for its spicy curries and rich gravies, Bangladesh is all about the subtle flavors and fresh ingredients. Think fish curry with mustard oil or biryani with a hint of rosewater. So, whether you're a fan of Bollywood blockbusters or soulful Bengali folk songs, there's something for everyone in this cultural melting pot. All right, folks, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the tiger on the pitch cricket. Now, India's the undisputed king of cricket. They've got the trophies, the superstars, the billion-dollar IPL. They're basically the New York Yankees of the cricket world. Bangladesh, on the other hand, is the underdog, the team that everyone loves to root for, especially when they're slaying giants. And let me tell you this, they've pulled off some upsets in recent years that would make your jaw drop. Remember the 2007 World Cup? Bangladesh sent India packing and the cricketing world went into meltdown. It was like watching a David versus Goliath rematch, only this time David actually won. Sure, India still holds the upper hand in head-to-head records, but Bangladesh's passion for the game is undeniable. They might not have the same resources or infrastructure, but they make up for it with sheer grit and determination. So while India might be the reigning champion, Bangladesh is proving that in cricket anything is possible. So there you have it, a glimpse into the fascinating world of India and Bangladesh. Two neighbors, two different paths, yet united by a shared history and a bright future. We've seen how these countries stack up in terms of economics, military might, and even cultural quirks. And while they may have their differences, one thing's for sure, they're both forces to be reckoned with on the global stage. Thanks for watching. If you found this comparison interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos. See you next time.